I am glad to be here with you this afternoon, this morning, to share our views on storytelling. This is a storytelling session, and in the minutes and in the minutes and in the next 1 hour, we will be hearing from some key members of the partnership who are going to tell us their stories. As I said before, my name is Nde Vitalis Tange. I am the Protections Officer of the Coordinating Unit of Associations of Persons Living with Disabilities. And I come from Bamenda, though attending this meeting in Bafusam. PIRL is a partnership, like the name goes. The creation of PIRL dates as far back as 4 years behind, which started actually with researchers coming together from Canada and Cameroon, particularly, not excluding some countries in the world, that decided to come together to put their heads together and see how research, inclusive research, could be carried out. This is because from research, literature, and others and other sources, it has. All right. We will be hearing from Julius Nanji. We will be hearing from Nji Veronica Ngum. We call her Mama Ngum. And we will be hearing, of course, from Mahadeo Sagai, whom they have their different experiences, and they would like to share with us in this session. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Mahadeo. Mahadeo is someone who is one of those who is well experienced in research activities, though he has certain he is very busy. We understand he is a very busy man, but I think he has created time for us to hear this, to hear his story about research and incorporating it with his busy schedule. So, Mahadeo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Vitalis, and good morning to everybody in North America. Good afternoon to everybody in Cameroon and other parts of Africa and Europe. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and to take some time to talk. As Vitalis said, my name is Mahadeo Sukai. I am the Director of Research and Chief Inclusion and Accessibility Officer for the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, or CNIB. I'm one of those researchers who was involved in the original development of the PIRL project grant back in 2017. And when Dr. Lynn Cockburn had approached me to be involved in this, I was very excited. So I'm not I'm not native to Canada. I was not born in Canada. I'm actually from the Caribbean, from Guyana in South America, and so for me, every time I've had the pleasure of going back to my home country, one of the things that strikes me is the very big difference between disability in the global south and disability in the global north, and the capacity to do disability inclusive development and to do inclusive research in the global south is very different than in the global north, and even the questions that we will ask are sometimes very different. And that difference is what motivated me to become involved in PIRL in the first place. And as Vitalis mentioned, I am very busy at CNIB. I run 3 departments. and I'm involved in the development of accessible employment standards for the Canadian federal government. I've been involved in the development of post-secondary education standards on accessibility for the Ontario government. But I will take the time whenever I can to come to these meetings and to become involved. Lynn said to me yesterday that her major comment about me is that I'm involved in a lot of things and not always able to come when I can, and that's very true. But for me, it remains a very important thing because of who I am and because of where I come from. And I also feel that in some ways there are things perhaps that I can offer because of the other things that I'm involved in that perhaps I wouldn't necessarily be able to offer if I wasn't connected in those other ways. And so for me, although I don't get to come to every steering committee meeting and I don't get to come to every webinar, and I don't always get to spend the time at the Institute or participate in some of the working groups, I think it's really important to stay connected, and we'll take the time to do that where I can and when I can. And the other thing I think I want to say before I stop talking is how incredibly important it is to acknowledge that we're all in different time zones, that we all have different technology access, we all have different technology needs. And so although that doesn't necessarily make it easy, I think that when we're actually able to do this work together and we're able to do it with the recognition that we all come from different places and spaces and time zones and technologies, then we're able to achieve things that are ultimately very rewarding. And so I think what I want to leave you with is this sentiment of this is important. It's important to all of us. It's important to me. And even if you don't see me all the time or hear my voice all the time, I get involved by email. I get involved by looking at things electronically and by reviewing. And so there's more ways than real-time in-person participation, I think. And all of us give what we can, and I do my best to try to do the same thing. So thank you for listening to my story. And I'm happy to be here for the discussion period as well.
Wow, thank you so much, Mahadeo, for that intriguing and very inspiring story. We just hope that we learn from you and emulate your example, being so busy and finding time to give us your inputs is very, very important. Well, they say the head that wears the crown, I mean, uneasy is the head that wears the crown. I think you are putting on the crown. We look up to you, and so we will not leave you rest. So thank you very much. However, we are sorry for the technical hitches, but we are trying ways to see how we can actually ameliorate the situation. Meanwhile, we want to urge participants to take down their comments and their questions so as to actually be able to ask their questions or make comments at the end of this, at the end when these three persons have actually given us their stories. Let us find out if Julius is in.
Hi.
Julius, are you there?
Hello. So Julius will not be able to join us today. However, he sent a video for us to watch. So I'm going to share that as his story for his PIRL story. So I'll do that in a few seconds.
All right. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, we still urge participants to take down comments, because these are inspiring stories, which I believe all of us will be asking a lot of questions. We will be wondering aloud where we are, but it's also very important to get the answers right from the horse's mouth.
Okay, I'm good to go.
All right.
My name is Julius Nganji. I am based in Gatineau, Canada, and in addition to my regular full-time job outside of academia, I am an adjunct lecturer at the University of Toronto, and this enables me to be involved in several research activities in collaboration with my colleagues. I've been part of PIRL since we started developing it. My current role in PIRL is co-group leader of one of the data analysis and writing groups, and I have also recently joined the steering committee. In my role as group leader, I plan and schedule meetings, ensure that meetings are well organized, address absences, and take meeting notes, which I circulate after the meeting. I also ensure that group members have tasks they will be doing in between meetings, and that we are meeting the group's objectives. We started PIRL 3 years ago, bringing together researchers and practitioners in disability inclusive development from the global north and the global south who are living with or without disabilities, with the goal of forming an inclusive research partnership. As part of this community of practice, we wanted to include people from different educational backgrounds with varying levels of knowledge and research expertise, and to also provide an opportunity for students and postdoctoral fellows to be mentored and trained by more experienced researchers. While writing the grant proposal, I remember what it was like bringing out the idea of accessibility for persons with disabilities as part of a research team, and what it was like trying to envisage what this might be practically with people in different geographical locations. We are currently working in small writing groups and collaboratively analyzing data from a survey and some interviews. However, it has not always been a smooth ride because many of our colleagues are living in areas where the internet connection is not stable. And in addition to frequent outages, participation in group activities is often challenging. To address some of these challenges, we use different platforms for collaboration, such as Zoom for our meetings, WhatsApp for frequent group discussions and collaboration in between meetings, and we also use Google Docs for collaborative writing. On a personal note, it has not been easy participating in the main PIRL activities as much as I want to due to my regular job. So my contributions to PIRL are done in the evenings and weekends. This is always a learning process and takes some time. We are removing accessibility barriers and learning as we go. It is exciting to see how group members who had little or no research experience have gained confidence and can contribute to the goals of the partnership.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Leslie, for playing us this video. We are so grateful. And the story was really inspiring. We see how from the story Julius is narrating there, we see how he is actually struggling to make himself available, keeping other things aside to make sure that his own position in the partnership is not blank. We actually want to thank him. As I said before, let me still introduce myself to you, ladies and gentlemen, understanding that many people joined when we had started. And my name is Nde Vitalis Tange. I said I am the Protections Officer of the Coordinating Unit of Associations of Persons Living with Disabilities located in the Northwest region of Cameroon. I got into contact with the PIRL project in 2020, that is a year back, and I actually was very happy because it was though it was a new program to me. I had not been involved in research before, but I saw it very necessary to be part in order to learn more, because I don't always want to go by without having something new. So I actually accepted to join in order to represent the coordinating unit of associations of persons with disabilities in the partnership, and also to learn a lot from the great experience that I see many people already had in the partnership. Since then, though it has not really been easy, like Julius said, and Mahadeo, joining from this other end of the world, it was a very challenging, or it's very challenging. That's participating from this end of the world is very challenging, given the type of technology we are dealing with. Yes, and so sometimes you have issues with the with internet. We have issues with maybe with the gadgets. Sometimes electricity is a problem, and so although despite all these challenges, we we are still struggling to see how we can contribute our own cup of water to the ocean of needs. Yes, and so with this struggling, I am actually very happy because Lynn, Dr. Luis, Dr. Kometa, they have not relented their effort. They have worked tirelessly in order to see that we who are joining from different ends of the world get informed, we get results, we get everything that is needed to carry on the project ahead. That is a small short story that I had about myself joining the PIRL team. Like Julius said, I am happy to belong with him in the same group, that is group two writing group. And we are struggling to see how we can put things together in order to boost up the activities of the partnership. I am also, I have attended, this is my second year of attending the institute. The last one in 2020, I was there, and this year, that's 2021. I am still there, and it is enriching me in many ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you once more for joining, and we want to give the floor over to Madam Veronica Ngum, who is the president of the Northwest Association of Women with Disabilities here in Cameroon. And you have been trying your best to see how women with disabilities particularly could be incorporated in research activities. And so this is the reason why we actually collaborate with you, and we think you have a lot to tell us, how you have gone about, how you have tried up to this extent to see how women with disabilities are included in research activities. Mama Ngum, you're welcome. Please tell us your story.
Thank you, Vitalis. Thank you, everyone, for accepting women with disability to be part of this platform. It's my pleasure. Like Vitalis has said, I'm Veronica Ngum. I'm the president for the Northwest Association for Women with Disability. And joining the PIRL was actually a new thing to me. That brought me to D&ID research. And it has greatly helped me to expand my scope of understanding what research is all about. I joined the PIRL because of my interest to represent women with disabilities, women and girls with disabilities, and enhance their participation in D&ID and research, and also to reduce the digital gap that we experience as persons with disability, as women with disabilities. My experience as a woman with a disability taking part in a research is that being a woman with a disability and growing up in a context with limited exposure, I have not had the opportunity to be exposed to D&ID research. Also, it came to notice that I was not the only one, but also generally, women with disabilities face barriers to research, most especially D&ID research. And one thing that piqued my interest about it was the fact that it is due to their low self-esteem and low self-confidence. But for on my part, it was not actually the issue of self-esteem or self-confidence, but limited understanding on D&ID on research, understanding research and D&ID research to be specific. Being in PIRL, the aspects that really attracted me to be in PIRL was the fact that when you look at the name PIRL, Partnership for Inclusive Research and Learning, it already portrays that the PIRL team have put in place best practices that will intentionally include persons with disabilities in the project life cycle. So I became so passionate as a woman with disability to bring in my contributions, as a voice of women with disabilities, and also to learn from the perspectives of others in the network, which I have greatly learned over the years that I've been in the PIRL project since 2019. I also wanted to learn and gain knowledge on D&ID research, strategies to continuously put to practice D&ID research even after the end of the project. I would also like to continue to stay with the PIRL project because every day with PIRL and its activity, it's new and has at least one take-home message to add to my profession. I also appreciate the motivations, financial motivations that comes from PIRL to support us fully participate in PIRL's activity digitally, virtually or face-to-face, and also to access digital tools. Using the research to tell my story about research and belonging to the PIRL is a plus to my career because my story will not be limited to my context, but it will go far and wide. I know there are so many people around the world who are PIRL partners, who are those in the network that are listening to my story now. And my story will amplify the voices of women and girls with disabilities in D&ID research, participating in D&ID research from low income and developing countries. Being in PIRL, I have gained a lot. The Women Forum has also gained a lot. The PIRL project has supported Women Forum to have a beautiful computer with good specificity that enable us to do our work very well and keep our data very safe. I have also gained skills and improved on my digital skills, learn new apps and ways to work virtually and be very versed with these apps. I have learned how to quote interviews, like being in the group 1 PIRL group. I have learned to code interview, and it is very exciting. The team, the group one team is a very exciting team, and they're very supportive. I think in that group, I'm the one who is very new to such an activity, and they are very supportive. They have taught me to learn very well. Thank you to my group one PIRL members who are participating in this webinar now. I've also learned how to differentiate qualitative and data and carry out data analysis. And personally, I have improved on my interpersonal communication skills and my ability to work in a team. The PIRL also has supported the Northwest Women Forum financially and technically to train 20 women with disability on how to use digital tools, access the internet, and use the internet responsibly to improve on their livelihood. These 20 women who are beneficiaries of the project, they now have a shift in their perception about using the internet and access to the digital space. They are peer training their friends, making them to understand that through the internet, you can have a better life, not just wait on aspects on the ground. But with all these good things, we still face some challenges which are not too difficult to handle. We will just evolve over time. The biggest challenge we face in the Women Forum, is the involvement of women and girls with disability in D&I research. But on my part, who is so passionate about empowering women digitally, I always and will continue to educate women and girls with disability on the importance to use the internet positively, make good use of digital tools for self-empowerment. And I will also build their capacities and their self-esteem to know that they don't have to limit themselves due to their level of education, their disability, or inability to access digital tools. I'll conclude by saying, on behalf of the Women Forum and and all other women with disability in the Northwest region, we are expressing profound gratitude to the PIRL team, to the University of Toronto for giving us the opportunity to take part in these learnings. That will take us a long way to empower more people, even without persons with disability, even persons without disability in our communities. It is going to change the way, it's going to change perceptions for the way people now see women with disability. So thank you, the PIRL project team, and thank you to the University of Toronto. Thank you.
Thank you, Vero. Thank you very much for that elaborate story. Your story just tells me or tells us that you are experienced in maybe disability inclusion, and you are making yourself used to disability inclusive research. Now, at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear from you. Maybe you have some questions, maybe you have some comments, maybe you have some worries. Now is the time that we can attend to the questions. Maybe you direct your questions to any speaker, anybody who has shared the story, either Madeo and or you direct it to me, because I think I've given a little about my own story. And of course, Ngum Veronica, for us to actually address them. So anybody with a question, you just raise up your hand, or you just go ahead, because I want to acknowledge that I am a person with visual impairment and I may not see your hand raised. So you just want to go ahead and make your comment or ask your question. The floor is open. All right. All right. I think now, as at now, we don't yet have any question, but I want to find out from Madam Veronica Ngum. I don't know how. I understand that you are also very busy like Mahadeo. How do you manage your busy schedule with the PIRL's program? I don't know. How do you go about that?
Thank you, Vitalis, for that question. As a busy person, I prioritize my activities and my participation in events. So there are always people to take representations. When I know there is a PIRL meeting and it is colliding with another maybe event that I have to take part in, I will prioritize. I choose the PIRL meeting and I assign someone to do a representation somewhere else. And I have my phone, I have my Google Calendar app that records all my events and their dates and their times. So it is always embedded in my phone. When I look forward to it, every time I look at the app on my phone, my Google Calendar, so I'm always reminded maybe 1 week, 2 days, 3 days, and the day before. So I always strategize my activities in a way that I'm very coordinated and take the activities that are prioritized first. Then those that I can send somebody for representation, I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Madam Veronica. Thank you very much for responding to that question very, very swiftly. When you talked about your diary, your calendar, I quickly remember when I saw you with a diary, and it just told me that since you are also time conscious, like you mentioned, you don't want to miss on any activity that you had planned for. And so with that, I want to say thank you very much. You are organized. I must admit that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for being there. I know most of us are getting we are getting the stories, and the stories are actually inspiring. The stories are very, very intriguing. I know that we should be burning with questions or comments. Feel free at any time to come in with any question, with any comment that you want to make. In the meantime, I want to indicate that Leslie, please you have to take some time at the end to tell us, to give us the link, or maybe you share the links. We don't know how you want to do that, but please, you share the links for the workshop that will be at the end. Thank you very much. We don't know if you have some questions. You can go ahead. Questions or comments?
I see Jodone has his hand up. Maybe Vitalis is not noticing.
All right. If Jodone is having his hand up, then we want to give him the floor. Jodone, the floor is open. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Vitalis. I am Chejorine from Cameroon. From now, I'm taking part in this institute from Bafsam because of some certain issues such as electricity blackout and poor internet connection in Northwest region. So my question goes to Mavero. I wish to find out how you with women with disabilities, because
Jodene, please, we are having some difficulties getting you. Maybe you want to adjust again before you come back. Hello, Jodene, did you hear that? Yeah, we are having some problems. We are having some issues getting you clearly. Maybe you want to adjust before you come back. I think is due to poor internet connections. Like you are rightly saying, it's all over Cameroon. And in the meantime, we want to urge you to maybe somebody amongst us, the participants, uh, listens to this story and maybe is inspired to give us a short briefing about his or her own story. You can go ahead, share your own short story so that it will help us to learn and maybe manage our time like others have been doing, like Madame Goom have done, like Mahadeo is doing to be able to take part in activities like this. Maybe you have your own story. All right, but anybody from Canada can share us their story.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jane Davis, and I'm from the University of Toronto in Toronto, Canada. And my story is more to do with finding out or working as an occupational therapist and working with people with disabilities and wanting to see them being included more in life. And my focus is really on engaging people in their best lives, and that part of that is engaging people in whatever they're interested in doing, which includes people's involvement in research or in education or in school. And so that's my focus. My main research focus is with people with mental health concerns, and including people in research and in determining their own paths and their own lives within research. So it's a brief story, but that's my story.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Jane. We are having less than 7 minutes to actually go, but we would like to thank everybody who has actually done some presentation. Dieudonné wanted to say something. Dieudonné, can you do that in 1 minute?
Okay, Mr. Vitalis, thank you very much. First of all, for the wonderful coordination. My question goes to Marvero. I wanted to find out how she does transmit a message for trans persons with disability to become digitally inclusive, since most women with disability in Cameroon are not well educated or not well read. And what assistive devices does she use to be able to help them go about this activity? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dieudonné. Madam, thank you very much, Dieudonné. Madam Vero, did you hear that?
Okay, he already typed his question in the chat and I was trying to respond to it through the chat, but let me just go. Now, we all are working with women with disability and digital tools. Yes, it is a challenge we have. They don't have digital tools. The computer, the phones, they don't have. But when the PIRL project supported us to teach women with disability digital skills on research and self-empowerment, the beneficiaries are women with disabilities who already have Android phones. So we realize that even though they have Android phones, they use it for fun. They don't use it to empower themselves or expose themselves to other opportunities. So the Women's Forum has a computer. We have a projector. So when we are coming to teach them, we use our computer and we project the presentations in a way that everybody can see. So even the deaf, they will be able to see and read from the projecting screen, from the projected screen. So I teach them, even though they have difficulties to read, there are applications that they download that they can read from the Play Store.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you short, but we
No,
are
it's
also
okay.
challenged.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we are just challenged by the limited time. I want to call on our attention that after this we will have two very, very interesting workshops. I know all of us have actually chosen our workshops to attend. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, it was a good session. I want to thank us all for being patient for being patient to the end of this session. Catch you all in our various groups. Nice time.